What if the monsters under your bed, the shadows that dance in your peripheral vision, the whispers carried on the wind, were not figments of a childish imagination or an overactive mind, but chilling, undeniable realities? Imagine a world where the tales spun around campfires, the urban legends passed down through generations, held more than just a kernel of truth. They held the very essence of terror. Prepare to question everything you thought you knew, to scrutinize the thin veil between myth and horrifying fact, as we embark on a journey into urban legends that aren't just stories, but shockingly real occurrences that have left a lasting, unsettling mark on history. Our descent into the uncanny begins with a phenomenon that taps into a primal fear, the seemingly innocuous objects of comfort turning malevolent. We speak, of course, of haunted dolls, tales of dolls possessed by malevolent spirits, moving on their own or causing inexplicable misfortune are abundant, echoing through the annals of paranormal lore. But these aren't merely fictional narratives. Consider cases like Robert the Doll, an antique toy said to be cursed, whose presence has been associated with misfortune and strange occurrences, or the infamous Annabelle, a Raggedy Ann doll purportedly inhabited by a demonic entity, whose documented psychological effects on owners and investigators are deeply unsettling. The chilling fact remains, some museums, aware of their disturbing power, house these dolls, claiming they require specific containment protocols to prevent their inherent paranormal activity from spilling out into the world. The very idea that an inanimate object could harbor such dark energy is enough to send shivers down one's spine. Next, we confront a fear rooted firmly in the vulnerability of everyday life: the killer in the back seat. This classic urban legend preys on the anxiety of discovering a hidden assailant tucked away in your car after a seemingly normal stop, turning a routine drive into a nightmare. While often dismissed as a cautionary tale, real-world instances of carjackings or assaults have occurred where criminals indeed hid in vehicles, sometimes with accomplices, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. The chilling fact is that the flash of headlights warning, a common trope associated with this legend, has its roots in actual attempts by concerned motorists to alert drivers to the danger lurking within their own vehicles. The thought of such a silent, unseen threat lurking just behind you is enough to make anyone glance nervously into their rearview mirror. Our journey continues down a lonely road, where the lines between reality and illusion blur with the tale of the vanishing hitchhiker. This unsettling legend describes a driver picking up a mysterious person who then vanishes inexplicably from the car, sometimes leaving an item behind as the only proof of their ephemeral presence. While often rooted in local folklore or misinterpreted events, some historical accounts involve peculiar disappearances or mistaken identities that fueled these narratives. The chilling fact is that many versions of this story serve as potent moral warnings, cautioning against the dangers of giving rides to strangers or driving alone late at night, transforming a simple act of kindness into a potential encounter with the unknown. Finally, we plunge into the murky depths of urban mythology with the legend of alligators in the sewers. Rumors persist of baby alligators, flushed down toilets, growing to monstrous sizes within the labyrinthine passages beneath our cities, while the notion of giant reptiles navigating subterranean tunnels is largely exaggerated. Occasional sightings of smaller alligators or other exotic pets in storm drains have indeed occurred in some cities. The chilling fact is that in the 1930s, New York City sanitation workers did report finding alligators in the sewers, likely abandoned pets that survived for a time in the dark, damp environment. Think these are just old wives' tales, distant echoes of a forgotten past. What if the next one could happen to you? Before we continue, subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments where you are watching from. The next chilling account transports us to the quiet town of Mattoon, Illinois, in the 1940s, where a series of bizarre incidents gave birth to the legend of the Mad Gasser. Imagine the terror of residents suddenly awakening in the dead of night, their lungs burning, their bodies paralyzed, as a sweet, sickly odor permeated their homes. This wasn't a nightmare. It was the reality for numerous families who reported being attacked by a mysterious figure wielding a gas sprayer. Police reports meticulously documented these events, filled with witness testimonies describing people falling ill, experiencing nausea, vomiting, and temporary paralysis, all attributed to this unseen assailant. The chilling fact remains that despite extensive investigations, roadblocks, and widespread panic that gripped the community, the culprit was never definitively identified. Some historians and psychologists posit it was a case of mass hysteria, a collective delusion fueled by wartime anxieties and suggestion. Yet, others insist on the undeniable presence of a real attacker. An elusive phantom who terrorized a town and then simply vanished, leaving behind a legacy of fear and unanswered questions. This is the one that will truly haunt you, for it exposes the terrifying vulnerability of ordinary life to an unseen, inexplicable threat. Our journey through the unnervingly real continues as we delve into one of America's most famous and thoroughly documented hauntings, the legend of the Bell Witch. In the early 19th century, on a secluded farm in rural Tennessee, the Bell family found themselves tormented by a malevolent entity. This wasn't merely a few bumps in the night. It was a campaign of terror that escalated from knocking sounds and scratching to physical assaults. Objects flying across rooms and disembodied voices that conversed with family members and visitors alike. Accounts from multiple witnesses, including the highly respected General Andrew Jackson, who reportedly visited the farm and experienced strange phenomena firsthand, lend an almost unparalleled credibility to this terrifying saga. The entity, which referred to itself as Kate, seemingly obsessed with John Bell Sr. and his daughter Betsy, caused her immense physical pain and even prevented her marriage. The chilling fact is that this case is not some obscure campfire tale. It is one of the most thoroughly documented haunting events in American history. Journals, letters, and contemporary accounts detail the relentless torment, making it difficult to dismiss as mere folklore. Its origins remain hotly debated, with theories ranging from a vengeful spirit to a poltergeist manifestation, or even a psychological phenomenon within the family itself. Regardless of the explanation, the sheer volume of corroborating evidence paints a picture of a family under siege by an unseen force, leaving an indelible mark on the landscape of paranormal research. Are these just isolated incidents, strange anomalies that occasionally ripple across the fabric of reality, or is there a darker, more intricate pattern at play, hinting at forces beyond our current comprehension? The sheer consistency of fear, the inexplicable nature of the events, and the compelling testimonies from credible sources suggest that perhaps our understanding of the world is far more limited than we care to admit. The line between myth and horrifying truth is about to blur even further, pulling us deeper into the unsettling realization that some of humanity's most terrifying stories are not merely products of imagination, but echoes of events that truly transpired. We are merely scratching the surface of a world where the unbelievable becomes undeniable, where the shadows themselves seem to hold secrets too profound and too terrifying to fully grasp. The next two legends will challenge your perception of reality, forcing you to confront the unsettling possibility that we are not always safe, not always in control, and that the unknown often lurks just beyond the veil of our everyday lives, waiting for its moment to emerge. The line between myth and horrifying truth is about to blur even further, pulling us deeper into the unsettling realization that some of humanity's most terrifying stories are not merely products of imagination, but echoes of events that truly transpired. We are merely scratching the surface of a world where the unbelievable becomes undeniable, where the shadows themselves seem to hold secrets too profound and too terrifying to fully grasp. The next two legends will challenge your perception of reality, forcing you to confront the unsettling possibility that we are not always safe, not always in control, and that the unknown often lurks just beyond the veil of our everyday lives, waiting for its moment to emerge. Our journey into the profoundly unexplained now leads us to one of the most enduring and perplexing mysteries of the 20th century, the Dyatlov Pass incident. In February 1959, 9 experienced hikers ventured into the icy depths of the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. What followed has baffled investigators and theorists for decades, becoming a chilling urban legend rooted firmly in grim reality. Their tent was found abandoned, cut open from the inside, suggesting an urgent, desperate escape. The hikers' bodies were discovered scattered across the snowy landscape, some partially clothed, despite the sub-zero temperatures. Official investigations were largely inconclusive, fueling a myriad of theories, ranging from avalanches and hypothermia to rare animal attacks, paranormal encounters, or even clandestine military experiments. The chilling fact lies in the inexplicable injuries sustained by some of the victims. Broken ribs, fractured skulls, and one woman even had her tongue and eyes missing. Furthermore, traces of high levels of radiation were detected on some of their clothing, adding another layer of unsettling complexity to an already horrifying puzzle. The Dyatlov Pass mystery remains an open wound in the annals of unexplained phenomena, a stark reminder that some truths are simply too strange, too terrifying to ever be fully comprehended, leaving us with a lingering sense of dread about the vast, unforgiving wilderness and the forces it might conceal. Finally, we arrive at a legend that intertwines a cryptic creature with a catastrophic event, forever etching itself into the collective memory of a small American town, the Mothman sightings and the tragic collapse of the Silver Bridge. In the mid-1960s, the quiet town of Point Pleasant, West Virginia, became the epicenter of a bizarre phenomenon. Numerous eyewitnesses reported encounters with a large, winged creature, often described as having glowing red eyes and a wingspan of up to 10 feet. These sightings, often accompanied by feelings of intense fear and unease, became increasingly frequent. Then, on December 15, 1967, disaster struck. The Silver Bridge, a massive suspension bridge connecting Point Pleasant to Ohio, suddenly collapsed during rush-hour traffic, plunging 46 people into the icy waters of the Ohio River below. The timing and the preceding Mothman sightings were too coincidental for many, giving birth to the chilling belief that the Mothman was not just a cryptid, but a harbinger of doom, a supernatural entity appearing to warn of impending catastrophe. The real evidence lies in the sheer volume of credible eyewitness accounts from diverse individuals, all describing a similar creature before the bridge's tragic demise. While skeptics search for rational explanations, misidentified birds, mass hysteria, local folklore, the profound impact of the Mothman on the community, linked irrevocably to the devastating loss of life, cements its place as a truly terrifying urban legend, made all the more potent by its perceived connection to a tangible, historical tragedy. From phantom figures and malevolent spirits to inexplicable deaths and harbingers of disaster, these urban legends prove that some nightmares are far too real. They challenge our understanding of reality, reminding us that the world is often stranger and more terrifying than we dare to imagine. Like this video, if you dared to watch till the very end, share it with someone who loves a good scare, and subscribe for more mind-bending content that explores the thin veil between myth and reality. Tell us in the comments below which legend shocked you the most, and which one will keep you looking over your shoulder tonight.